Hi, everybody, and welcome to podcast number 22, the Alexi Sale podcast. Number 22. And boy, have we got a podcast for you. Well, we've always got a podcast for you, but this is particularly special, I think. I interviewed Diane Morgan. Diane Morgan is somebody who I really admire. Philomena Kunk, her role in the sitcom Motherland, and various other and Ricky Gervais's Afterlife, which I haven't seen and will never see. But she's just somebody I really admire. I was in her 15-minute sitcom Mandy, the second series of that, which I think is also something I really like. And it just we just talked. She came round to my house and we talked for, I think, 2 hours. And it was just a fantastic conversation, I think. And, there's no reason, I think, to edit it much down from that, really. It's just a great free-rolling conversation. Also, me and Talal, we recorded 2 episodes of the podcast in front of a live audience at in the bar of the Museum of Comedy. And you tell them what the plan is for that, Talal.
Yeah, well, we enjoyed ourselves so much, and the episodes, we weren't sure what it was going to be like because we'd never done it before, and we'd never shared a stage or done anything. You had no plan going in. It was all just completely freewheeling, and they were such a blast that we've decided to put them on the Patreon feed. So what that means is if you're a member of our Patreon, which is patreon.com/Alexi Sale podcast, you could be a member on any level, there's different price brackets. You can join the Patreon. You can go on the lowest bracket and you will get access. We're going to release these live episodes on there and you will get access to them. That's 2 exclusive live episodes just for Patreon members. And that actually kind of makes you... I should have led with this. It means that you've broken your promise because there was...
to give them nothing.
Your promise was you get nothing if you join the Patreon. And that was from the bottom of your heart, you made that pledge.
Yeah.
How do you feel about reneging on that?
It's another broken promise. Well, I think that there's a life lesson here that for people that, never trust a comedian. I promised to give you absolutely nothing. And now I'm giving you something really fantastic.
It really was, man. And we had a paying audience to come and watch, and they were great, and they filled the room up, and the atmosphere was really, really nice.
I mean, both nights. The second night, the Thursday, was on the first night of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. So
it does dominate the conversation a bit, doesn't it?
I can't remember, really. I remember at one point causing rather... Because the Museum of Comedy is actually in a kind of deep in a crypt of a Hawksmoor church. And I did theorize that we might, the nuclear war might have broken out while we were doing the podcast and we never noticed, and we would emerge to a nuclear wasteland. That hasn't happened yet.
Not yet. So, there's a little hint on what we discuss in those episodes. They were really, really fun. And thank you to everyone who came out as well. And we did a nice meet and greet. And
I think we'll do some more, really.
Yeah.
So I like going into it with no plan, but I don't want to repeat myself, but I also want to do funny stuff. So, it's a challenge for me not repeating bits and stuff like that. But I think it works.
Indeed. So head over to patreon.com/Alexi Sale podcast to support this project, keep the wheels turning, and also to get access to those 2 episodes that will be coming out in the next couple of weeks. I'll put them out one by one. And I hope you like them. Leave your comments and send us messages on there and let us know what you think. All right. That's the plug for the Patreon. Diane Morgan. It was great. So good. Shall we listen to it?
Let's do that.
All right.
Hi, welcome to Alexi Sale podcast, and my guest this week is Diane Morgan, all-round comedy genius. And in the preamble, I've blown Diane's mind several times.
Completely. Before you press record, you just
Yeah.
I don't know what to believe anymore.
No,
the information you've just told me.
No, honest to God, I don't make stuff up, really.
I thought you were joking.
No? About, what I told you was...
Well, I don't know where to begin.
that I used to dandle Jacob Rees-Mogg as a child on my knee.
I thought that, first of all, you'd assume that was a lie, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Have you ever been on Would I Lie to You? Because you've got some great stories.
No.
I think they're going to be ringing you up after this.
I don't think... No, I think somehow... Because my agent represents David Mitchell.
Oh, right.
And also I did a radio thing with Lee Mack, and we went for a pizza.
Yeah.
And we got on tremendously.
Yeah.
And then both Lee Mack and Michelle, my agent, said, "You must do. Have I? Yeah. What's it called? Would I Lie to You?"
There's several shows that have all got similar titles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you've done it, haven't you? Because I've seen you on.
Yeah.
And then something happens where somebody up the chain of command says, "No, we're not having him on."
Do you think it's because you dangled Jacob Rees-Mogg?
Well, I think there's probably... I've only... Obviously, because I want to impress you, I've only told you
there was
the good stuff.
There was a fatwa.
There was a fatwa, for instance.
Put on you. I mean, that's a Larry David episode. Why am I meant to believe that? And yet, it's true.
It's true, yeah. Oh yeah, I don't know if the fatwa is just... Have we done the story about me having armed police protection and all that? I've talked about it. I've had to have. There was a point when if 999 came up on my phone, there'd be an armed response vehicle around here within 90 seconds, which would be a police car. Just because be a police car with two policemen in. They'd have Glock 17 pistols, MP5 submachine guns.
How did you find that out then?
Oh, they told me. It's a long...
Really?
Yeah. We could. Well, maybe we'll do it at an episode. But that's just an example of the shit that's happened to me over the years.
And then I find out that Michael Gove did a comedy sketch show with David Baddiel.
Yeah.
And I keep forgetting her name.
Tracy McCloud.
Yeah.
He did topical
See,
comedy.
obviously, I'm not going to believe that.
But you looked it up
but
on your
then
phone.
I Googled it, and it's absolutely true. And still, looking at the website, I still think that you made that website and put it on my phone.
Yeah. It's possible that, it's all... I
wouldn't put it past you.
There's... Is that catfishing or gaslighting? Or I don't quite understand this
catfishing. That's a blast from the past. We've forgotten about catfishing since gaslighting.
Well, one of the things about... one of the points of doing this podcast is I get celebrities in, and then I also
gaslight them.
No, I will be talking to you later about my cosmetics range.
I thought you were going to say your cosmetic surgery.
No.
Your cosmetics range.
Yeah, that I'd like you to become a representative of, and you get paid in Bitcoin.
Yeah,
and that's the entire.
Is it like Avon?
Yeah, it's like a whole long range plan that
Sale Cosmetics.
Yeah, Stuart Lee now is mostly on the road. You haven't heard much because he's selling my range of cosmetics.
Is he?
Yeah.
I'll do it. If you do my pasta sauces, I'll do your...
Oh, you got a range of pasta sauces? Yeah. Oh, what flavours and stuff are you?
Beef.
Beef.
Just beef. I'm going to think of some other flavours soon.
Yeah. No, it's a deal, yeah.
I've cracked beef.
Well, that's this is already gone in. This is the majesty of the podcast. Is it's already gone in interesting ways. That you've got a range of pastas.
Yeah,
beef
pasta sauce.
Pasta sauce. Diane Morgan. Because which celebrities have products? Paul Newman.
Paul Newman
had, and then do you remember Lloyd Grossman?
Yeah, he did some pasta sauces. Very nice too.
Yeah, but.
Go on.
Well, Paul Newman.
An eyeball in pasta.
No, not that. But Paul Newman, all the profits for his pasta sauces went to charity.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Not so Grossman.
Grossman, all his pasta sauces went to Grossman. The profits.
Yeah.
So really, if you bought a Lloyd Grossman pasta sauce, you were adding to the sum of human misery, really, because you were taking away from Paul Newman's pasta. But they were, I think are they still going? I know there was a Linda I don't know if she doesn't like me talking about this. This is a secret from our mouth. Linda loves buying stuff that's reduced to clear.
Oh, yeah. Ben's like that. Oh, yeah. There's a certain times that you go in a supermarket. If you go in on a Thursday between 4 and 5, that's when you get the goods. Oh, we'll know what time it is.
Yeah. Well, do you know that? Because we share. I don't know. Do you go to Waitrose?
Yeah.
There's that corner there where all the goods, where all the remainder stuff. The corner by the sandwiches. Yeah. And you have to push like an old lady out the way to get to the. But some of the reductions there. Oh, Diane! Honestly, the best reductions were the other Waitrose up at Granary Square.
Yeah.
They completely got they opened just before Christmas 2019, and they got their.
You remember the date?
Oh, I remember it.
You remember it well,
as if it was yesterday.
Who opened it?
I don't know who was. I don't know whether they had a celebrity opening. But anyway, they got their kind of stock taken wrong, and there was nobody there over that Christmas, and the bargains to be had. This was Christmas Eve. It's the best Christmas Eve I've ever had. The bargains to be had in that Waitrose were just unbelievable. You know, like stuff that was like Charlie Bingham.
Wow, that's
Bingham,
luxury. Yeah,
like 50p.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
It was amazing.
That's the thing. You want like a bad batch, don't you, so that you can get it, something.
Yeah. So, well, Ben, those little because I've got quite adept at I know how to get them off as well. They're reduced to clear because I don't like seeing them in the fridge.
Oh, really? You steam them off?
Or use a Brillo pad or something.
Yeah, you're not scum, are you? Steam them off.
I don't want people to see.
No.
Wait, why did we start on this? Oh, our range of pasta sauces.
Yeah,
we haven't even got to
scratched the surface.
Yeah, the meat of this. So that's what I was going to say. Yeah, because the other side of me having interesting stories is I think the people I've insulted over the years, and I think that's why I don't get on. Have I got news for you? Because there'll be somebody on the production team that I've been horrible to.
Sort of knowingly, or just kind of like
no, casually, which makes it worse. Really. Yeah, the casual kind of indifference.
Do you kind of think, oh, that's weird that they haven't asked me to do that, and then you think back and you go, oh yeah, it's that party, and I said,
yeah. God. Andy Harries is very powerful.
Yeah,
I think I behaved very badly in his office.
No, the mind boggles.
Yeah. But that's why I'm not on Would I Lie to You. Even now I've got all these powerful connections.
And great stories.
Yeah, got great stories, and I don't know. I don't think I want to do it anymore.
No,
they fuck them. They can.
Yeah, sod it.
Yeah, but anyway, I actually bumped into you on the corner when we were getting in a cab, and I said,
"That's right, yeah."
I said, and if you get to know me, I said I'm a big fan of your work, and if you get to know me, you will know that is
bullshit.
Never. No, the reverse. No. It was actually because I hate most people's work. Really, I'm profoundly.
I'm like that. I hate a lot of things.
I hate so much. I mean,
it's awful, isn't it, when you hate everything?
No, I think it's a sign of being talented. Really, well, I would say that. We would say that because we, do this. Reaffirming each other.
There's so little then, though, that you can enjoy. But then it separates the wheat from the chaff, doesn't it? You can look at something and think, I'm not going to enjoy any of this.
Yeah.
I know what I want.
Yeah. I think I get a great deal of enjoyment out of things, but not the things that other people like by and large. When people say, I can't think of an example
most
now.
Things on Saturday night TV I bore. A thing that everyone likes strictly. I just don't understand.
No, I hate it. I had a piece in The Guardian which got over 1,000.
Oh, really?
Yeah. About my hatred of Strictly.
Yeah. I don't understand it.
It's fake, man.
Yeah, it's the fake, I think. And the way a lot of programs are put together in exactly the same way now. A lot of documentary, I love a documentary, but now a modern documentary is like the same music, the presenter's young and in a fleece and going on a journey.
Yeah.
Oh, God. But
Yeah.
a lovely old documentary, something like an arena.
Yeah.
I would love, and I love an archive documentary.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, of course, I was involved in the most popular arena of all time.
Which one was that?
The Story of the Four Cortina.
The story of... Oh, right, of course you were.
Yeah, which is the most the most watched documentary. Now this is where I can be false, is that I do make these grandiose claims about
most watched documentary
that it is
of
the
all
most
time.
in the history of all of television. Yeah,
Right.
So, that is very grandiose. But I did say I love your work, which was unusually true in my case.
Oh, that's so nice.
You're welcome. So I suppose we will cover your output really, but I suppose you could just go from the start. Yeah, your
cabbage,
content.
But you never saw that.
No, I did. I looked. I mean, my there is. I must say, there is a. I looked all of my. Yeah, the sum total of my research was looking up your entry on Wikipedia, and there is some weird fucking shit that you've done. Like a 4-part. And now this is. I love stuff like this. A 4-part Robert Webb topical comedy series called Robert's Webb.
Robert's Webb. Robert's Webb was the best thing about it. The title. They've got, I know, Robert's Webb. Yeah. Oh my God, the stuff I've done.
Yeah. Pat and Cabbage.
Pat and Cabbage. Pat and Cabbage. The thing was, they gave me the script of Pat and Cabbage, and I thought, I thought I like this. This is great. Could be really good. And of course, when you first start doing things, you realise how things go wrong. Everyone's got a different idea of what it is.
Yeah.
And then there'll be some bad casting that goes on. That ruins it. And then gradually, we were all in the show, and I remember thinking, this is going to be dreadful.
Yeah.
Well, there's nothing you can do about it. And one of the worst things was the title.
Yeah. It's a terrible... So
and
what
I said, we're not going to stick with this title, are we?
Yeah.
And the title was Cabbage and Pat. And they said, no, we're not going to stick with this title. And I thought, oh, thank God, because it sounds like a children's show.
Yeah.
And it came out and it was Pat and Cabbage. Yeah, that was a mistake.
Well, I think, yeah. But
you learn, don't you? I mean, it was interesting to see. In my head, I was thinking, I don't think this is going to work.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see it when it's on the telly. And then seeing it and going, oh, yeah, that's where they went wrong, I think. I think they should have done that.
Yeah, but I think one of your strengths is that you've done those things and learned, whereas I've done those things over and over again and learned nothing. Absolutely nothing.
But, I mean, you were in The Young Ones.
Yeah.
What was that? Do you get sick of people asking you about The Young Ones?
No, I'm perfectly. As long as I can also, talk about my range of cosmetics.
Absolutely.
As well, and my range of pottery figures. That'd be... As long as people understand that I'm still relevant and current,
yeah.
I don't mind talking about The Young Ones. Yes, because Salal said if you've got any, just to this sudden change of direction that you've got questions to ask me. So.
But what was it like being in The Young Ones? Because I said to Ben this morning, I thought, what am I going to ask him? What would you ask him? He said, well, you're asking about The Young Ones. And I thought, everyone asks me about The Young Ones. But then. It's probably not that interesting to you because you just did it and it was a show and it was fun. But to me, it was like, oh my God, it's The Young Ones.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the sadnesses about doing a show like that is that you don't see it really. That you don't know
how big it is, and
you don't know, but you're not doing the lines in the playground. It'd be a bit weird if you were. So yeah, you in a way are the least affected by by it really, but it was we've done a Young Ones episode with Lisa Mayer, who's one of the writers of the Young Ones. Yeah. So if we cover the same ground again, that's fine because you haven't listened to it. It was we were tremendous friends really, because we'd the Comedy Store opened in 1979. I met Rick and Aidan, and then Peter and Nigel, and then we opened the comic strip, and then that's where we met Dawn and Jennifer. And so in 1981 we made the pilot, The Young Ones, which was written by Rick and Lisa and Ben. And we were all in that phase of, I think, being a kind of group, like being, like a band where you're besotted with each other.
Yeah.
Really, you're really crazy about each other, really. And so I think that is, and you're kind of high on your success, and, you think it's going to last forever, really. So, there was a level at which making The Young Ones was just pure joy, really, because you felt that, that you were there with your mates, and you had these, also the BBC, I think in those days was a very different organisation. You were in the kind of warm, welcoming arms of this wonderfully paternalistic organisation that kind of understood what you were doing. There was no...
no one was interfering.
Nobody interfered at all, really, And they were all, the execs were all program makers as well, so they'd all, they all understood. Because Jim Moyer, really extraordinary right wing, he was head of comedy or whatever it was at the time. He later became in charge of.
Later became Vic Reeves.
That's what I was
thinking, Jim Moyer.
Yeah, no, the
Different
real
one.
See, my Jim Moyer was the real Jim Moyer. He was head of comedy. He later went on to be. Well, he was head of Radio 2, and then he was something to do with the Royal Family. But he knew...
Not that Royal Family.
No, it's all open. It was the Royal Family, not the Sue Johnston one, Ricky Tomlinson one. No, the other one, yeah. And he, but he knew, he could see that despite the kind of punky tropes or whatever, that we were solid. We were also show business stars. We were show business performers who wanted to be stars, really. That we weren't. There was a lot there was a lot with us, with me, that was the same as with Tommy Cooper or Morecambe and Wise. We subscribed in a way to the same philosophical ideas, really. Both Morecambe and Wise were Marxists. Although I think, Ernie was more tended towards the more Kropotkin anarchist. Anywho, so, they treated us with great respect, I think, threw massive resources at us. And it was joyful, really, to do the series. And
that's
then,
nice to hear, because, sometimes people go, oh, God, it was awful. None of us got on.
No. Well, later on, then after success, bites, then shit gets more complicated, really.
Have you been watching Get Back?
Yes.
Was it a bit like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
Watching the relationships between them all and how it all breaks down.
Yeah. Yeah, it did. It reminded me a bit. Yeah, there were elements of it which reminded me a bit. Obviously, that they are. Yes, it's an amazing piece of work. Obviously, partly because it's been remastered, and so it looks like it was happening. Yesterday. Yeah, but also, I think that the relationship. There's that bit. For instance, there's that. I don't know if you've had this, but there's that thing where George comes in with a song.
Yeah.
And Paul and John have got to
completely dismiss it.
I've got to dismiss it, but without pissing him off so much that he'll leave the band, although he does later on. But you know what I mean? And that's that's a situation that I've been in. You just go, this is great. We love this, but we're not going to do it ever. And that seemed like a very familiar scenario really. within a because within a kind of a group like that, the power dynamics are never equal. There's always tensions and stuff, and within the Young Ones that later became the fissures started to show, really. And again, that's probably I probably behaved fairly.
Which one would you have been
in the Beatles? They don't completely. Probably George.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. The one who wants. I don't know. It doesn't.
I was going to say Lennon.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. So maybe. Well, that's I'm being.
George was very quiet. I don't think you were as quiet as George.
No.
Guy never said a word.
No.
I think he knew his place, didn't he?
He did, really.
Oh.
Well, I think it would be vainglorious of me to compare myself with Lennon, really.
No, come on.
But that's very kind. You're so kind. For you to do it, I could never. I would think I'm Mal Evans.
Mal Evans.
Yeah, I'm a big lunk who just makes tea and bangs a hammer at one point on an anvil.
I love that.
Yeah.
The excitement on his face when he gets to hit that hammer.
Yeah.
You would be, though, wouldn't you?
Oh,
I was amazed at all the people standing around just sweeping up and stuff. And you think, look, the Beatles are right there. And you're just sweeping up next to them.
Well, I suppose it wasn't really...
I love the Hare Krishna guys just sat in the car.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, there's probably not a direct analogy with me and the Beatles, but certainly I recognise those tensions, and it was because it's fascinating that on one level it is just four blokes, doing their stuff, and on another level it is
and at a certain point you all want to do your own stuff.
Yeah. Well, I was
just change a bit.
I wanted to get away as soon as possible and just be on my own, really, just be a solo act,
George, really.
Yeah. So in that sense, I was like George. Do you want to ask me any more? So
yes, I've got other questions.
You've got them on your phone.
Yeah, I know it is, isn't it? Here we go. Who would you happily kick off a cliff?
Keir Starmer.
Keir Starmer.
Yeah. I'm full of rage against Keir Starmer.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Oh God. Well, yeah, I'm full of hate. Really, I'm still
full of hate.
I'm still full of I'm still. I mean, it's like. I mean, certainly. Well, one of the things that I thought when I went back to doing stand-up, because I had like 17 years off when I didn't do stand-up, and I thought when I went back, I thought I'm much older. I'm also, I'm a calmer person. I'm much, the ambition has died. Really, I genuinely, I think one of the ways that helped me get back, I did have this extraordinary ambition, which is, which is really much diluted, which is kind of gone, really. I wanted to be, I
feel like you're a psychiatrist.
Yeah. Have you done a series where you played I feel like I might have read on Wikipedia. No, you haven't ever done a series where you played like a therapist. I think you might have done.
I think I might have done. The mimic.
That's right, and it says.
That's right.
Yeah.
You really did your research.
Yeah.
No one's ever done any research on me.
Really?
No.
Oh, well, yeah. What was that? Was another failed TV series that you did? The
Mimic.
Mimic.
The Mimic was really good. Yeah. I was only a tiny bit in it, but why did we talk about that?
You said you thought you were like
that's
therapist.
right.
Yeah.
Yes, because you're full of rage and you've no ambition anymore.
Yeah, I thought because when I went back to doing it is, and the pottery figures talk to me in the night time. I thought when I went back to doing stand up that it would be a more mellow kind of. But as soon as I started writing and then performing, the fury emerged, just like it used to be. Really, I mean, different kind of subject matter and a different kind of delivery, but the hatred of individuals is as powerful as ever.
Yeah,
really.
That's good to know.
Yeah. Good to know in that it lasts. It can last. You mean?
Well, I just think with stand up, I don't think you can be that funny until you're at least 40.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
Because?
Well, there's no jeopardy if you're young, is there?
No.
And I think once people start dying off, then you've got a real sort of I don't know. It puts everything in perspective.
Oh,
And,
wait till you get to my age. Fucking hell, if you want some people dying off.
Well,
Jesus.
there you go. I mean,
I did. Well, I don't know.
Well, there's this argument that am I too old to start doing stand up?
Yeah.
And maybe you do need to start young. I don't know, but I just think people get better at stand up as they get older because of the anger.
Yeah, I don't think you necessarily do, but I think if you, I think I'd say most people get worse, really. But the odd,
I think there's a drop-off point,
Yeah. Certainly with me, I think I've got better. I was doing right before lockdown stuff, I was doing the best stand-up of my career. But yeah, it's also that, I mean, it's that realization, I think, which I always knew a bit, but that everything is a lie, really. Like you said, every documentary is a lie. The business is infinitely corrupt.
I'm so depressed when I finish this.
Yeah. So I'm full of rage, and it's if I didn't have an artistic outlet, I don't know what I would do, really. Because I do have an unhealthy interest in firearms as well. So that's the one. I
did notice the gun.
The Glock.
On the table. There is actually a gun here.
Yeah.
Just letting people know. All right, here's a good question for you. If you had to eat one thing for the rest of your life, every single day, the same thing, what would it be?
Probably, hummus would be.
Hummus?
Yeah.
You wouldn't get bored of hummus?
I don't think so. If you spend a lot of time in the Middle East, as I have in Syria and Jordan, and I can't go into why I was...
No, naturally,
behind the lines in Syria and Iraq. You basically do eat the same thing for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, really. Which is, you get the flatbread, don't you? Do you agree with this?
Is it different flavours of hummus, though? No, just same hummus every day.
Talal's, yeah. Because what was it? We were going to make hummus. You were going to teach me how to make falafel, weren't you? At one point. No, so it's basically for breakfast. It's slightly different. You have the flatbread, and you have labneh. You have like yogurt and jam. You probably don't have hummus for breakfast, do you? Really? You can do. Yeah,
hummus for breakfast.
You could do. It could happen. And flatbread, and then for lunch you definitely have hummus. Again, labneh, salad, and then for lunch, for dinner, the evening meal, you'll have hummus. Tahini, labneh. So
how long do you think it would be before you were like, not again today?
No, never. I don't think.
Really?
Yeah, I think you feel like you're a kind of spaceman or something. Like in The Martian, where Matt Damon only eats potatoes. I sort of thought, oh yeah, I'm not mad on potatoes, but I thought,
a baked potato every day.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not mad on baked potatoes, but I thought the fact that to see this man just eating the same thing looked good to me. Yeah, because it's having to think
of what you're going to have for lunch again. It's boring, isn't it? I hate it.
Especially that's one of the interesting things about Get Back, isn't it? Even though the Beatles are the richest men in the world at that point, they can only eat
rock bun.
Yeah, they can only eat toast. Toast, marmalade, and Chelsea bun, and that's
fancy coffees. It was lovely, wasn't it? Cup of tea.
Yeah, that's all there was.
Oh.
And the heroin.
I was really
heroin
really
chase.
Made me nostalgic.
Yeah,
I'd go for a cheese sandwich.
You'd eat a cheese sandwich every day.
And I did. When I was at drama school, I had a cheese roll every single day for 3 years. Didn't get bored of it.
Well, that's the sign of a great artist, because René Magritte ate the same lunch every day for like 50 years.
Did he?
Yeah.
What was it?
I think it was pasta. I think it was a spaghetti. Even though he lived in Belgium, it was spaghetti with a little bit of butter. You can check up on this. That's all he had every year. Because it's Flaubert's dictum about living the life of a bourgeois and saving all the fire and for your art, really. And so that's very much what Magritte was doing. He lived the life of a bourgeois. Those portraits of the.
Was it Einstein who he had the same He wore the same thing every single day.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
had a
And
wardrobe full of
Wittgenstein
them,
as well, the greatest philosopher of all time. He wore the same thing every day.
Yeah,
I think corduroy trousers, a jumper.
nice.
Yeah, a jumper. Like possibly a sleeveless jumper and a shirt.
Yeah.
Socks and like brown shoes.
Oh.
Yeah. But he's. Are you Are you hearing that drill, by the way? Or
That's what it is it? Is it the dentist next door again?
It's.
I like it. Let's incorporate it.
Diane's like happy to incorporate ambient sound in. So if you're, it's my neighbour next door. He's got do you know the myth? Do you know the myth of Sisyphus?
No, I don't.
Oh, the myth of Sisyphus. You'll be able to quote this now. Do you know the myth of Sisyphus?
It's hard enough to say, isn't it?
Sisyphus,
the myth of Sisyphus.
Talal gets it, yeah.
The myth of... I can't even say it. The myth of Sisyphus.
Sisyphus, yeah. So Sisyphus offended the gods in Greek mythology and was condemned each day to roll this heavy rock up a hill. And then the next morning he'd wake up and the rock was back down the hill.
Oh, shit.
And he'd go, oh, fucking hell. And he'd have to roll it. And that was his punishment was to roll a rock up a hill every day. My neighbour's house is a bit like this. The man next door is that he's kind of he should call it Casa de Sisyphus because he's continually working on it. It stays the same, really. He's been working on it for like 10 years now.
Have you just discussed why he's drilling? What is he doing?
I don't know.
Is he putting up pictures?
No, he'd be doing something like really major, like rerouting the plumbing. He's not the sort of person I can have a conversation with, really.
No. We should have got him down.
Peter,
have a conversation.
Maybe we could get Peter in. So, but it's a house that he continually works on, and it gets worse if anything. So,
windows falling out and stuff.
Yeah. Oh. But maybe we can go back to you now, Diane Morgan. Take us through your evolution, really, from where were you born and all that.
I was born in Bolton.
What was your Were you like in a suburb, or were you like in the middle of town, or?
It was Bolton's a town.
Yeah, but where your bit where you live, your street?
My street was an avenue, Phillips Avenue.
All right.
It's quite boring, really.
Parents? What did they do?
Yes, parents.
You got parents?
Yeah. Well, my dad worked in a factory for ages, but then he was made redundant, so he retrained as a physiotherapist.
Wow.
Yeah. And at the time, he spent like day and night studying for years when I was young, and I was thinking, what the hell is he doing?
Yeah.
But now I look back and I think, God, that was such a huge thing for him to do.
Yeah.
And he died a couple of years ago, so it's just my mum now who's in Wales. She went back to South Wales. She's from Wales. Okay. So she went back to South Wales.
History of like performing in the family? And
yeah, on my dad's side, there was a few people, like Jack Wilde, who played the Artful Dodger.
And we were talking about that before.
That's right.
I'm in the modern iteration of Dodger, yeah. Which is also which is to get really industry insider. Your same director of photography who worked on Mandy, also worked on Dodger, and he said, "Hi, it's me again," because he told me all about Dodger and I'd forgotten, and I feel really guilty because he said hi, and I'm like, "Yeah, who are you?" Yeah. And I realised I'd only worked with him a week before, and he told me all about this thing, Dodger, that he was working on.
Yeah, right.
And I'd completely forgotten about it.
It's terrible,
I felt
isn't it?
awful. I felt really awful.
I'm a bit like that. I just can't remember anything.
Yeah. So you grew up in Bolton, went to state school, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. Was that all right?
Yeah, it's fine. It's quite a boring story, really. There's nothing.
You went like a clown to avoid.
Well, I was very quiet, so I sort of whisper things to people. I'd sit at the back and I'd whisper things.
Yeah.
Quietly.
Yeah.
And sometimes people would then say it out loud. They'd pass it off as their own. So I learned that.
It's an early, painful lesson. Yeah. Yeah.
But I heard you were at sixth form college. You got chucked out.
No, I got chucked out. Well, they didn't have sixth form college in those days. I made it all. I went to a grammar school, although it went comprehensive when I was there. So I used to try and pretend I'd been to a comprehensive. But in my first year of the sixth form, I was kind of expelled. Well, it wasn't that they were
kind of expelled.
Kind of. Well, they said it wasn't that they expelled me.
Did you go home and say, kind of expelled?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't that they was expelled, but they said don't come back. Basically, it was. So it wasn't like it was like a kind of
like you not to come
bureaucratic.
back.
Yeah. So it wasn't like a proper. It wasn't like expulsion. It's a bit like being court-martialed in the army.
Yeah.
You'd have to have your cap torn in half.
Yeah, so it wasn't that dramatic.
It wasn't that dramatic.
We
They said,
suggest you don't come back anymore.
after summer. Yeah.
And how did you feel about that fine?
Oh, very pleased.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was thrilled. No, I felt.
Why? What was the problem?
I was difficult. I turned into a difficult child, really, and I don't know whether probably in retrospect, it might have been partly because my father fell ill while I was during those years, but also, I was just again, I was an irritant in the system, really.
An irritant in the system.
In the system, yeah.
That'd be a good name for a biography.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah. Yeah, I can see
an
that.
irritant in the system.
Well, for instance, I think they had this. They decided to have class councils or something at one point.
Right.
I think maybe when I was in the fifth form, and like a representative body to present the students, the pupils' views to the staff or whatever. And my class elected me, and the school authorities made them rehold the election. And again, my classmates elected me, and then they made them rehold it again, and then my classmates got the point and voted for somebody else. So that taught me a lot of lessons, really. Partly betrayal, really, that ultimately you will be betrayed by those around you, I think, but also that I they saw me as a threat, really, and that just got where I think I never really it's that thing in it that I remember seeing years ago a list of kind of infractions in American high schools in the 50s, and in the 90s and in the 50s it was like chewing gum or running in the hall, and in the 90s it was like killing everybody with a submachine gun. It was like things had got worse. So in terms of rebellious behaviour, I wasn't really that bad, I don't think. I wouldn't wear the school tie and stuff.
Right.
I had long hair and,
Can't imagine you with long hair.
No, me neither. I did, though. I had lovely, lovely long black hair. When I first met Linda, I had lovely, lovely long black flowing hair.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. All gone. All gone. All like my career. It's fallen out. It's gone down the sink. But yeah, so yeah, so you went bad at school.
No, I was very, very quiet. Kept myself to myself. Yeah. Hated school. Was bored by it.
Yeah, I loved it. That was the weird thing. I loved it.
Couldn't stand it. Oh, hated it. And I wasn't very academic either. All my subjects were sort of art. I could paint and stuff.
Yeah.
I just didn't have any interest in maths.
No, I didn't either.
They told me that you'll need maths for every step of your life. You will need maths.
Yeah.
Never needed maths.
Now you can pay somebody else, can't you?
Buy a calculator.
Yeah. These days.
Even when shopkeepers, they count your change backwards into your hand.
Yeah.
I just nod.
Yeah. Who knows whether
I shouldn't have said that, should I? They'll all be.
You'd be taken for it. Well, not that it's all credit cards these days, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all chip and pin.
Yeah. Oh, what's the other thing that you just touch it to the
your phone?
You just touch your phone to the People pay. I've seen people pay on the bus with their watch. It's like oh brave new. It's the Miranda's words from The Tempest, isn't it? Oh brave new world that has such things in it.
Yeah, I reckon that chip will be in our heads soon, won't it? And you'll just be.
I think people have already started. I remember reading I was reading the Wikipedia entry of the Oyster card.
What?
Yeah, the Oyster card.
Got his own Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Oh.
And some people add because there's just like a bit. The card itself, it's just all show, really. It's all like fucking carrying on, Because there's a tiny bit that's the active bit, like a chip. Yeah. And some people had that chip transplanted into their body.
Give over.
Yeah.
Whereabouts?
I don't know, on their arm, I suppose.
On their arm. Is that where you'd go?
If I was going to have
forehead.
I don't really know. Well, I see myself as being. I think if it came, if that kind of dystopia came about, I see myself as the rebel, the leader of the, well, not the leader of the rebel army, not John Connor. But if John Connor's got a bloke who just says sarky things to him, and goes,
that'd be you.
mocks. I'd be, in the resistance to Skynet. I'd be the guy, if they do another Terminator film, I'd be the guy like John Connor's kind of unreliable sidekick, yeah. So, all right, so school, so you did, how many O-levels you got?
Initially I had about 4, I think.
This could be the essence of Comedy Genius, because I've got 4 O-levels.
No way!
Yeah, fucking yes way, yeah. 4 O-levels. And I'll tell you what they are, which is, because I have to say that the one piece of humiliation that I've experienced with you so far was when I, for some reason, got convinced that I could tell just by looking at what car celebrities drove. Because
you told me that just by looking at me, you could tell what car I had.
Yeah, because I'd done it with Maxine Peake. I'd looked at Maxine Peake and I'd said Audi A3. And she said, yeah. And so I looked at you and I said, and I can't remember what I said, but I think like Seat or Rosso.
You were way off. Yeah.
I was completely off.
Yeah.
It was humiliating. And I wake up in the middle of the night sometimes thinking about that.
Yeah.
I said, and I should have known.
I have a
Mini.
bit of a chuckle. Yeah.
Mini.
Well, I can't drive.
Oh, right. So it's Ben's
but,
car.
It is a Mini.
Yeah.
It belongs to us.
Yeah. God, why didn't I say I do?
You can see it now, can't you?
Yeah. I berate myself regularly. I said, why didn't I fucking say Mini? Yeah. It's obvious. Mini.
My mate Al can, ask you where you're from and he'll tell you your postcode immediately.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I know.
I can do the United Nations phonetic code, Alpha, Bravo, Charlie.
Can you?
Delta. Do you want me to do it all?
Z. Yeah, go on.
Do you want me to do it all? All right. Alpha, Bravo. This is thrilling podcasting. Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo, Foxtrot, Golf, Hotel, India, Juliet, Kilo, Lima, Mike, November, Oscar, Papa, Quebec. I've forgotten the alphabet. Romeo, Sierra, Tango, Uniform.
Oh yeah, you.
Victor, Whiskey, X-ray, Yankee, Zulu.
Shit.
Yeah, fucking.
Still
take
got
that.
it.
Yeah, fucking take that, Kevin.
How did
Bridges.
that happen?
It's the sort of thing that I would spend a long time. Tremendous amount of effort. When I could have been doing something much more useful, like not insulting top TV executives. I would be,
Can you learn the language?
You see with Talal, I pretend. I'm very good at pretending to speak a language. It's got me. I pretend to speak Arabic with Talal, and I can also pretend to speak Spanish.
I used to do that with the Scandinavians at grammar school. They'd all be sat around chatting to each other, and I'd just sit and go and chat with them.
Using their words.
And they loved it.
That's like cod languages, isn't it?
And they'd tell me what English sounds like to them.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it was really interesting.
Yeah. No, I can speak enough Spanish to sort of get myself in terrible trouble, really. So, donde está la estación? La estación.
I always get a bit embarrassed having to speak a different language from a different country.
I found when I was in Syria, I can't haggle. I found when I was in the markets of the Middle East that the only way I could haggle was by pretending to be French.
Really?
Yeah.
What? Because it gave you a bit of confidence.
Yeah. So I'd say, because usually you go.
You're a bit more.
I don't want to insult your people, Talal, but I mean, you go to the market and you say, how much is that comb? And they'd say £5,000, and then you're supposed to say, no. You insult me, and then you haggle, and eventually you pay whatever. You pay £1. Yeah. But I'd go. initially I'd go, how much is that comb? And they say, £100. And I'd say, yeah, all right. And it was unsatisfying for them, I think, for the merchants in the souk.
Yeah.
They didn't like me doing that, even though they got £100 and they could that was not the game for them. It was the enjoyment of haggling.
But just the thought of haggling makes me start to sweat under my armpits.
Yeah.
I'd just rather know what you want me to pay for it.
Yeah, exactly. So the only way I could do it was to pretend to be French. So I'd say, how much is the comb? And they'd say £100. And I'd say, no, this is ridiculous. I cannot pay. This is you're insulting me that you're paying, 100.
Feels more natural because of the arms.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so eventually I'd get the comb. I mean, obviously not the price that a local Syrian would pay for the comb, which would be 5p or something. But I'd get the comb at a reasonable price, and everybody'd be satisfied with the transaction, really.
Oh, great.
Yeah. I can't remember. So
gone off topic again.
Yeah. So after school, you got 4 O levels.
Yeah, and then I went to sixth form college.
Because they had them by then.
Yeah.
So you went to sixth form college. Was that like? Did you blossom there as well?
I blossomed, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the teachers give a shit.
Yeah.
Because at secondary school, the teachers would be just smoking out of the window. They'd give us they'd just say, copy that out of that book, and then they'd just go and sit and smoke out the window.
Yeah.
And so I didn't really blossom there. But when I got to sixth form, I couldn't believe how brilliant the teachers were and how engaging and how they made it really interesting.
Yeah.
And suddenly I wanted knowledge.
Yeah.
I was learning so much.
Yeah.
I wanted to go back and redo everything with these teachers because I felt like I'm going to be amazing now.
Yeah.
But, so that was incredible.
Yeah, for me, that was like I went to do foundation at Southport College of Art, and it was exactly the same experience.
Yeah, and of course, the other kids that are there are more willing to learn as well. That helps. Yeah. So
you blossomed.
I blossomed.
Yeah, and then?
Then I was going to go to art school, and at the last minute, I went to drama school instead.
Just you followed the wrong road direction.
Yeah, everyone said you should go to art school because you can draw, and you'll be able to be a graphic designer. But deep down, I just really want to, do comedy, but I didn't know how to get into it. So you just think, drama school. That's the only way.
I had that feeling because for me, I had to invent a whole new art form. This is where we get onto the megalomania. I had to invent modern comedy in order to do modern comedy. How brilliant is that? How brilliant am I?
How long did it take you?
Not long, really.
No,
couple of years.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, in a couple of years, really. Initial was struggling in the dark, really, and then.
Do you remember the first time you went on stage?
Well, it's a mix. Well, originally it was in the first time was in the school play.
Right. Well, to do stand up.
Well, it's sort of a slight evolution in that. First of all, it was a double act. It was me and this other guy, and we did the first thing we did was actually a house party in somebody's house. I remember that pretty well. Yeah. I remember saying.
Well, if you start as a double act and then you suddenly go on stage on your own, that's a big deal, isn't it? Because then you feel I'm on my own. Yeah, I can't blame anyone else.
No, but then that's what I wanted, really. I wanted to. I suppose, like the audition for the Comedy Store, I can remember that very vividly, and that was right. I thought this really works, So that's when. That was the first moment.
Were you a compere at the Comedy Store?
Oh, well, yes. Diane, just to refresh the history of this art form. I'm sure you've been over this
every week.
Oh, I'll talk about it endlessly. Endlessly. It's one of the things, when I went back to doing, for the first, when I went back to doing it in 2011, for a year, I found a young comic who I'm not really friendly with anymore, really, but who took me around. He was like playing like the Comedy Store and stuff, and they took me around. And one of the things I found I loved was how all the comics in the dressing room would have to pretend to be awestruck that I was there. I found that so thrilling, So it was the happiest time of my life in many ways, going around the clubs with that.
I always find it weird that backstage at the Comedy Store, that when the comics that weren't even playing that night would just come and hang out. I think,
that's
go
great.
home, I think.
Oh,
go
no.
home.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Oh, well, where'd you start with? Because that's not the original Comedy Store. That's
It's not. Where was the original one? Was it close by?
The original Comedy Store is just covered in our latest bike ride video. Is the original?
I saw one of your bike ride videos.
Yeah, okay.
Just cycling around, slagging people off.
Yeah, yeah. It sounds like me. The original Comedy Store was in Mead Street. It's now Soho Townhouse.
Mead Street?
It's corner of Mead Street and Dean Street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It was on the 4th floor. It was a strip club, topless bar called the Gargoyle.
Topless bar called the Gargoyle?
No, well, interestingly, I can't remember what the topless bar was called. It was on 2 levels. Downstairs was a club from the... it had been a drinking club from the 1930s, and like everybody had drunk there, like Terence Rattigan and Noel Coward, and it was this amazing drinking club, and that was the Gargoyle. And the stairs, it had these amazing metal stairs, which I think had been designed by Mondrian. Yeah, there was this amazing drink,
so
and then above it was a topless bar, so the waitresses had shorts on or something.
And it was called the Gargoyle?
No, the Gargoyle was the club downstairs.
I thought that was a strange name for a topless bar.
Yeah, the topless bar was called like Laguna Beach or something, I think.
Makes you think that all the topless women would look like gargoyles.
Yeah, that'd be a niche kind of
lovely,
thing. But
yeah.
No, I could go for that. So it was a topless bar, but the performance area was actually in the downstairs in the Gargoyle Club. There was like a little stage, and those little kind of spindly gilt chairs and tables and a bar, and that opened and Don Ward owned it, and that opened in 1979. And I went along and auditioned, and they offered me the job of being MC. But I did a very different because again I was inventing this entire art form for the first time. The way I MC'd was very different to the way they do it today, really. I didn't do like crowd work. The only crowd work I would, the crowd work, for those of you who don't know, is that, where are you from? You together as a couple, where'd you work? All that's my only crowd work was threatening to hit people.
Yeah, I imagine you didn't get many sort of heckles.
Oh, there was a lot, but they were met with tremendous amount of violence and aggression. Yeah,
you closed it down.
Yeah. No, tremendous. I mean, it was wild. The Comedy Store. My proud boast was the police were never called when I was there MCing, and when Tony Allen, who was a kind of an anarchist and stuff, took over the week I left, and immediately the police had to be called that night to quell the riot that ensued. So I always kept a lid on it, yeah. But I would do, material in between. I wouldn't do... I think MCs now, like, they
just chat, don't they?
Yeah, and they don't want... Yeah, go on, sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, I don't think many people, audience members, expect that much of a compare now, because they think, oh, it's the compare, they're just introducing people. And if they get a laugh, it's like a bonus.
Yeah.
But you were like doing proper material between...
Yeah, well, the compares now, they're trying to set it up so the acts do well, whereas I was trying to set it up so I did well.
Yeah.
I did well at the expense of the other acts, yeah. It was all about me.
Yeah.
It was very, it was very kill or be killed, really. But yeah, so I would do material, big, chunks of material in between the acts, really. Yeah. So anyway, back, you went to drama school in London?
Yeah, I went to East 15, it's called.
Because I was thinking, what was the band? They were called East 17.
East 17.
Yeah. Was there much confusion about that?
A lot, yeah. Every time I mention East 15, people say, oh, like the band. I go, yeah, a bit.
See, I feel bad now because I went down that route.
Well, it's like me talking about the young ones, isn't it? Yeah, went to drama school.
In Loughton.
In Loughton, Essex. Yeah.
But it was quite it wasn't like it's a pretty well-respected drama school.
Oh, yeah. I went there because, like, Alison Steadman went there. Great character actors go there.
Yeah.
And
I think it's like maybe my cousin or he's like the cousin of a woman who lived in our street. One of the two, Alison Steadman.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I knew her when.
Oh,
I
yeah,
knew
of course,
Alison
she's
when.
from Liverpool, yeah.
Yeah, I knew Alison when she was about. I was like a little kid. I can remember.
Really?
She was like 20 or something.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So what was that like going to drums? Because I found that was all right, was it?
Yeah, no, I loved it. I mean, it was a real eye opener because you get so many people from different backgrounds. Like I'd never really met really posh people.
Yeah, me neither. No.
And they'd sort of come over to you and start massaging you. Like, get off! You know what I mean? It's a bit sort of. It's different people, that had servants,
really,
people that couldn't open a can, really posh, and but the great thing about the school is that they also had sort of working class students as well, and it would all
put a stop to that now.
Yeah, they put a stop to that.
Yeah.
But, it was fun. A lot of it, you think, what's the point of this? A lot of throwing bean bags around that I couldn't bear, I thought,
theatre games,
theatre games, which I've never liked.
No. See, because I taught drama for a little while later on, yeah. And without really knowing anything about it, and I used to do a lot of those theatre games. And some of those theatre games, some of those games were like evolved in, like seamen had played them in the like 18th century. They evolved below decks, and some of my theatre games got quite Lord of the Flies. It really got badly out of control.
Did they? Yeah.
But that's for another day. So anyway, so you did a lot of that improvisation.
Yeah, I can barely rehearse. I don't really like rehearsing.
Did you do like fencing and stuff?
Fencing? We did fencing and tap dancing and all that. Yeah. Pointless. And trying to get you to speak RP as well, weirdly, because they thought that was neutral.
Yeah.
If you could do RP, from that you can then do other accents because RP is neutral, which is complete bollocks, obviously, because to me this is neutral.
Yeah.
This is my neutral.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of nonsense, but it gives you a sort of confidence that just knowing that you've been, I think.
Yeah.
You think... Because I think if I hadn't been, I'd always think, that person's been to drama school. They probably know something that I don't.
And now you know they don't.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't know anything.
Yeah, exactly.
So you left, and then we did talk about when I was on Mandy, on your TV show Mandy, which we will get to eventually. We did talk about you then had which is a load of shit jobs.
Terrible jobs, yeah. Yeah, terrible jobs. I've had so many bad jobs, packing worming tablets in factories and,
That down you stayed in London though after you graduated?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did, because that's what they said, you've got to be down here because this is where all the auditions are.
Yeah.
Even if you're up north, you have to come down for an audition and go back. So I just stayed down here and just did terrible jobs for years. Couldn't get arrested, couldn't get auditions for Love Nor Money.
How did that make you feel?
Weirdly, I had a strange sort of feeling that I'd still make it.
Yeah. You see, I think those 10 years between leaving Chelsea in 1974 and sort of getting successful really was what but I was tremendous. I think we were tremendously happy then because it's all hope, isn't it? And it's all, exactly. I mean, the reality, without being whiny about it, but the reality of success in the media or is complicated, isn't it? Really, it's not what you might. It's great, but it's difficult, isn't it? I think really, But the hope of success and the being on the verge of success. Oh man, it's so thrilling, isn't it? I think.
Especially if you don't have a plan B, which I didn't.
Yeah,
I think it makes it easier if you don't have a plan B. You've got to put all your eggs in that one basket. Yeah, and make it work.
Yeah, because you weren't thinking, I'll become a yoga teacher or something.
No, so I couldn't do anything.
That's an advantage, you see.
It sort of is. Yeah. So and then I started doing stand-up.
So how did that come about, really?
Well, I was doing telesales, and my boss there, Sean Sinclair was his name, and he kept saying to me, "You should be a stand-up, Diane," because I'd you'd be rude at people down the phone. And he said, "Oh, you should be a stand-up." And I said, "No, never in a million years. I can't think of anything worse." But then 30 was looming,
Right.
and I thought, "Oh shit, I've really got to do something. I'll give it a go." So I did one of those comedy courses because I don't think I would have ever gone into a pub with 5 minutes of material and stood on a stage. I needed a leg up.
Yeah.
And it was a good way to get a leg up.
Which course was it?
That was Logan Murray.
Oh God, Logan Murray. I've seen him. He's the one who used to work with Jerry Sadowitz, isn't he?
That's right, yeah.
I've seen him naked. I took him and Jerry Sadowitz, when I was briefly friendly with Jerry Sadowitz, I took some very conservative French friends of mine to see them at the Palladium. And it was just the two of them running around naked.
Jesus.
Oh, it was awful.
Christ. Well, that was in Camden.
Yeah.
And so you build up to doing 5 minutes in front of everyone, like an invited audience, and I did that. And then once I'd done that, I thought, I think I might be able to do this.
And then what happened?
It went well, and I carried on doing it. And
did you know that you were good at it right away?
I think if it had gone badly, I would never have done it ever again.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
So I was quite lucky. I spent a long time on this bit of material.
Right.
And I think the thing is, you've got to have a persona, haven't you? You've got to quickly find out what your persona is.
Yeah.
And a lot of young comics just copy other comics because they haven't found their persona. And I was quite miserable at the time. That helps, I think.
Yeah.
And I'd go on stage, I wouldn't brush my hair, and I'd just look as shit as possible. Because I thought that was much funnier if you look like you're really depressed.
Yeah. You wouldn't think that would be the route to success.
No,
really,
you
would
wouldn't.
You
Wouldn't. But with me, it helped.
Yeah.
So that was it. Then I started doing stand-up. And that's when casting directors came to see me, weirdly.
Yeah. I mean, so when would this be in sort of years? This would be, because you won like Comedian of the Year or something,
in the 90s.
Yeah, in the 90s. And did you find that you, on a personal level, that you resonated with comedians as well? Linda's going to her Tai Chi class.
Is she?
Yeah.
Oh, I used to love
being noise.
Tai Chi is great. I used to do Tai Chi.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Which style? I'm a Tai Chi.
I
I'm a
don't know.
master.
There's many different types.
Oh, fuck yeah.
But
I despise the site that Linda does Yang 24, which I despise.
Young 24.
Yeah.
Well, rival Tai Chiers.
Yeah.
I was amazed that when you come out of Tai Chi, you feel really, really mellow.
Yeah.
I used to go in feeling really tense and angry and come out really sort of lightheaded, and people would just bounce off me.
Yeah.
In the street, just nothing bothered me. I should do it again.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, or maybe you don't want it. There's always it's one of the things about. It's one of the things. The problem I have certainly is that thing. Well, I think, well, if I, I think, one of the things they say about finding kind of mental stability is to forgive people and forgive yourself. But I think, well, if I do that, what am I going to?
Good at forgiving people.
Yeah, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Work? What am I going to do? Stand up about?
Exactly. You've got to harness that hatred, haven't you?
Yeah. To know all is to. Yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah.
So I'd rather be.
Enjoy your
What a deeply unpleasant man you are.
Yeah, exactly. But I've got a career still.
Yeah.
And I'm nearly 70. Who can say that? I'm still relevant, aren't I? In podcasting.
Built a
young
career
comic.
on being here.
Indubitably, yes.
Did you find that you liked comics as people?
Some of them. I think you find out a lot about comics if you have a long car journey with them.
Yeah.
I think the more arrogant ones are a bit annoying, I always like the ones that were quite quiet and depressed off stage.
Who was your contemporaries then?
I started with like Joe Wilkinson, do you know him? Beardy Joe. And I suppose like Josie Long was like, mind you, she'd been going a while, I think. Nice to meet you. Enjoy your Tai Chi.
See you in a bit.
Yeah, so you know what it's like. Some are awful and some are lovely.
Yeah. See, I have a sort of, again, because I'm so unpleasant, essentially, I have a kind of sentimental love for all comics, really, which is something weird about that, really.
Maybe it's easier to have that if you've stopped doing it.
Yeah, but I haven't, Diane. I'm still doing it, and I'm more relevant than ever. I mean,
And you've still got a love for them.
yeah.
That's big.
I think so on one level. Well, yeah, I think... yeah, but I don't have much to do with them, I suppose. I'm not like...
Oh,
I suppose that's...
right.
Yeah, it's easy, yeah.
You don't have to do those long car journeys.
No, I never did, really. See, I never had that experience because... So there was a comedy store and then the comic strip, which was our own club. Are you interested in, the ancient history? Yeah, because that was, the comic strip was in Raymond's Review Bar.
Right.
And that was like a set show. And it was me, I was the MC, and then it was me, Rick Mail, Ade Edmondson, Peter Richardson, Nigel Blainer, and Dawn French, Jennifer Saunders. And that was just it. And we'd do the same show every night. And then from then we did the young ones and the comic strip, and then we were on telly, and then we were all touring, big theatres then. And so I never really had that comic, I never had that scrabble of years and years on the circuit. Well, there wasn't a circuit,
Yeah.
I was the circuit. So I never had that. But because that's the thing people talk about is you have these, so you're playing like the Chuckle Club in Cheltenham, say. Mythical.
Yeah.
And so you and Joe Wilkinson and young Jimmy Carr. And Jimmy's driving. It's Jimmy's car. Yeah. He's got like a second-hand BMW or something, a bit flashier than he can afford.
Yeah.
And Josie Longy, the four of you are going to the Chuckle Club in Cheltenham. Is that what happens? And then Jimmy has to hang around to the end, doesn't he, to drive you all back?
Yeah.
That was it?
Yeah.
That what happened?
Yeah, but sometimes, I'd go there on my own. Depends who was driving.
Yeah, I see. So Jimmy, you wouldn't get in Jimmy's.
Sometimes I'd wait to see if there was a late train back.
Or maybe even stay over.
I never doubled up. I hated that. The stress was enough of doing one gig a night. I could never do like two.
I think you can't remember what you've said in the first show.
Yeah, you think, am I at that bit?
Yeah.
God.
So casting director, but anyway, so you did your act. Yeah. So your act was about being depressed and miserable.
Pretty much, yeah. In a nutshell.
Well,
yeah. How awful life is, basically.
Yeah. Sounds good. Yeah. I wish I'd seen it. No, I'm sorry. I took a haughty. I think it was. I don't know what. I took a haughty disdain for comedy until I went back to it. Really, I was. But I think it was kind of pathetic, really, because I thought this. I don't know. I invented all this. Why has it changed? I think partly why are people more famous than me now?
Yeah. I always hated doing linking material because you always have to be really sort of like fake, don't you? It's just kind of like link material.
So you say talking about carrots.
Yeah, when you're doing a little bit and then you've got another bit and you have to get to that, but you can't just go, here's another bit of material.
Yeah.
Well, you can do it once or twice, but then you have to go. You have to think of something to link that bit and that bit.
I never really.
Oh, I hate that.
Really?
Yeah.
That's an interesting.
Well, like getting off the stage.
Yeah. No, none of that ever bothered me.
No,
really.
you're probably, you're a more natural comedian. Yeah.
I guess. So then, that's it. Good night. Fuck off.
All right. Yeah,
that would be me, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think linking. I don't think I did bother. I'd just start on the next bit, really. That'd be my tip. It's irrelevant now.
Just have a nice little pause and then start on something.
Yeah. See, if I was giving you advice, if somehow I was there in 2006, you asked me for advice, I'd say don't bother with the linking material. Just start on the next.
That.
Yeah. You don't need it, man. Yeah. Just fucking launch into the next bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's why I am. That's why
you get the big bucks.
Yeah. Let me think. You're the voice of.
Oh God.
Not Purple Bricks, maybe.
Zoopla.
Zoopla.
Supla. We know it at home is really worth.
See, I used to fucking love that. I mean, that's...
I enjoy doing a voiceover.
Yeah,
You have to
yeah.
do this bit in like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I can do this. I quite enjoy it.
Yeah, and I mean, I wouldn't do it now. I mean, I've just got a different voiceover agent now, but I've just got a new voiceover agent and told her that I really essentially won't do anything.
Brilliant.
So it's a bit of a challenge
she must be
for her.
so pleased.
Yeah. Yeah, she is. She's thrilled to have me on her books. I told her, I said, there's nothing basically I will do, but good luck with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I used to fucking love
Yeah.
voiceover. So Zoopla, you are.
Zoopla.
That's like a estate agency. And so I was close. Is that a estate agency?
Yeah, houses.
Houses,
Buy
yeah.
a house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So you're doing stand up. You were getting. I mean, I always sort of say to people as well, which is maybe a bit. If you're doing stand up and you'll start getting offers of big people will ask you to work in their do a bit in their pub or their Chuckles Comedy Club in the Chuckle House in Cheltenham. You start getting offers, and if you don't start getting offers after a couple of years, give up because you're shit, really. Which is a bit cruel, isn't it? But I mean, you started getting bigger and bigger offers, and the big time beckoned.
Yeah, it was nice.
So how big did you get as a stand-up?
Oh, not big at all.
Really?
No. I quickly got paid, and
start making a living.
Yeah, so I could give up the telesales.
Did you like?
Oh my God! I do one gig and it was more than I got in a week for telesales. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. So I thought it was worth it to feel physically sick for 20 minutes a week, rather than bored for a whole week. So I did it for nearly 10 years. Stand up. But I never went to Edinburgh. I never did an hour. I never wanted to do tours.
Really?
No, I couldn't think of anything worse. Yeah, I couldn't bear the thought of being on stage for a whole hour.
Really?
No.
That's a very odd.
20 minutes was more than enough.
Really?
Oh God, yeah.
I can't understand that. I find that literally it's like you started talking a foreign language.
Really?
I can't understand. Why don't you want to go on and dominate and just you and nobody else and you?
I don't know.
It's very odd.
I think I wanted to play different characters. I think that was.
Yeah.
I think I'd got bored of myself doing this one miserable act.
Lapsed into foreign again. Bored with yourself. I don't know. So where was the biggest? What was the biggest you did? So you were always on mixed bills or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
So it'd be you. Go on, give me a typical night then.
Typical night.
Will be you.
I've tried to blank it out.
Yeah.
I enjoyed doing the Stand in Edinburgh.
That's a fucking great club. Yeah.
I love.
So you just go up to Edinburgh or Glasgow,
go up
though.
And do the weekend, Friday.
Not paying off. That would work for them.
Yeah.
And there'd be how many? So you do your 20. How many other
there'd
people?
Be about four or five of us, something like that.
Yeah.
And I loved that. Great audiences, really lovely. Yeah. I sort of liked open mic nights the best. Can you just
fucking
try
hell,
stuff?
you see, this is... I can't think of anything. Oh,
can you?
No.
Because I sort of feel like once I know whether a piece works or not, that's my curiosity over then. I don't need to tour it around. Does this work? No? Okay, fine.
See, I can't...
This does work. Okay, fine.
I can't understand that. See, I find a bit that works and then do it for years.
Beat
That's
it
my
into the
inclination.
ground.
Oh, yeah. Do it until it stopped working because you're so sick of it. That'd be my inclination.
Oh, God.
That's a complete... Well, I suppose I can see in a way why you then gravitated. So I suppose... So how did Philomena Kunk come about then?
Really boring. My agent rang and said there's an audition here for Charlie Brooker's show. And I love Charlie Brooker's show. So I knew... They said it's a bit like Barry Shitpeas. There's a character on the show called Barry Shitpeas. I know it. Yeah. I know the tone. I love it. Give me the script. So learnt it. They wanted it to be in a sort of posh voice, so I went in and did my best posh. and then thought, this has been much funnier in my own accent. And then sort of begged them to let me do it in my own accent, which they were quite reluctant to hear.
Yeah.
Did it, and they were like, oh, yeah, you're right. It's better in your own accent.
What year was this?
Oh, Christ. I can never remember the years of things.
Clearly,
No. It's all one big blur.
See, I've got ambiguous feelings about Charlie Brooker because I think he's what I would like to be, really.
Oh, really?
I feel that I'm not.
You'd like to write Black Mirror?
Yeah. Yeah. Or something like Black Mirror.
Yeah,
not
do it.
Oh, I'm too old now.
No, you're not.
No,
Don't be daft.
No, it's all over for me now.
Give
Diane.
over.
Yeah, no, I've had it now. No, I think, I couldn't, again, that's where Charlie Brooker's presumably is also, can do that, the producer aspects of it. He hasn't insulted, done terrible things in TV executives' offices and stuff. Or maybe he has, I don't know.
I wouldn't put it past him.
Really?
Yeah. But I'm not sure he wants to do stand-up, so...
Yeah. Well, I thought it was also some of that was a bit like my TV, like stuff, don't you think? Where he was
angry.
Walking about.
Yeah, angry. Walking about being angry.
Yeah.
You got that off.
Yeah, that was my fucking...
In a suit.
Yeah, in a suit.
Oh, the nerve.
Yeah, he stole it from me. Yeah.
I'll have a word.
Yeah, well, it's too late now.
Too late now. Never mind.
Yeah. So there's the academics that you talk to. Are they in on the joke? I don't quite.
They weren't at first.
Really?
No, we told them as little as possible, and they'd never seen the show. So we just got them to sign a release form, and then we'd sort of just trample all over their favourite topic.
Yeah.
And some of them got quite angry
during the
thing because they weren't expecting me to. Be like that. But now they're all in on it now. They all know. They all go, my daughter loves this, so I had to do it.
Yeah.
And they play along. But, some play along better than others.
Right, yeah.
But it's great. It's my favourite bit of the show. Mm-hmm. That you can say anything then.
Yeah.
Don't have to learn a script.
Is it written or you do the...
Yeah, it's all scripted.
Yeah.
But the interviews, I've got a list of questions, but you can go off topic or whatever. You can say whatever you like because you have to, because you never know how they're going to answer.
Yeah,
so you can't script it.
Yeah, it is very funny. Then, so what did your life change then? Do you think you feel like a transformation?
Yeah. Then I got more auditions. It's quite boring, isn't it, this?
No, for me, it's fascinating. This is actually also the longest podcast we've ever done.
What are we on? What time is this?
An hour and 27.
Oh, right.
I mean, if you're happy to stay, I mean, I find it, I think it's going well, really.
I've got 2 more questions.
All right. All right.
So, but it's your show.
Well, all right. Well, quick. Did you So you did film in a did people like, I found like when I got famous, so people like Phil Harley of Cockney Rebel would invite me to his wedding. Even though he didn't. Did you get a lot of that?
It's weird, that, isn't it? Yeah, that started happening. That is odd, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think a lot of people go along with it, I
went to Ronnie Corbett's memorial. Never met the man. Never met him. I was honoured. But things like that, and you think, this is weird, isn't
it? Yeah. And I think a lot of people just go, and that's how their lives become then.
Went to Barry Cryer's, must have been 60th, 70th, I can't remember.
Yeah.
At the Hackney Empire.
Yeah.
Weirdly, Galton and Simpson were there.
Yeah.
Never met Barry Cryer.
They hadn't, or you hadn't?
I hadn't. Oh, they'd definitely met him. Galton and Simpson were there, just standing in the corner on their own. And I recognised them, obviously, because Jesus Christ, it's Galton and Simpson. No one was chatting to them because no one recognised them.
Did you go and talk?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, and were they pleased?
Got their autograph. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, they were lovely, very tall. The tallest old men I've ever met.
Really? Because they met in some sort of sanatorium, didn't they?
Yeah, did they have TB, didn't they?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a funny thing, though, isn't it? Davina McCall invites you to a garden party, summer garden party. Did you go along with that?
You're a celebrity.
You're just going to mix with other celebrities.
Yeah, you're not going to be a maniac, are you?
No, you're going to play the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you go for any of that? Did you not?
I definitely went to Ronnie Corbett
Yeah.
Memorial.
Yeah.
There's no way you were going to stop me from going to that.
Did you give a quote afterwards? Did people ask, like BBC News 24, ask you to say?
You get a lot of that, don't you? If someone dies, they'll come to you for a quote.
Yeah.
Whether you've met them or not.
Yeah. Do you want to ask me some more questions? You got
I've only got 2 more questions.
Yeah.
One, have you seen a ghost?
No, I don't really believe. Do you?
Oh God, really?
Because your DOP did something. You believe in
my DOP? Yeah.
He faked a ghost on Dodger.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet. I look forward to that.
No, he did it because we were filming in a stately home. I don't know if we.
Oh, do you mean he pretended?
He pretended he'd seen a ghost on his and he'd photographed it on his iPhone.
Oh, he got one of those.
Yeah,
pictures
and all the makeup and that, they were all they all believed it. Yeah,
I think he did that on Monday too.
Really?
Yeah, he's a tinker, isn't he?
Yeah. So no, I haven't. I don't know that. I mean, I would love to believe in, because I'm terrified of death and stuff, and I would love to believe in an afterlife.
You don't believe in an afterlife?
Sadly, don't. No.
You don't?
No. Do you?
I think you carry on as a sort of gas.
Okay, yeah.
I think it's something like that.
Yeah.
Some sort of gas.
Fair enough, yeah.
Like a conscious gas.
All right. It's still you, is it? But you're a gas.
Yeah, it's still you, but you're a gas.
Yeah.
Like a conscious gas.
Yeah.
So you leave your brain behind and your mind is just like a conscious gas floating around with everyone else's gases.
Yeah. That doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you're right.
Yeah, I'm sure I am.
Yeah, well, fair enough. Well, that's given me hope.
Yes, it's an upbeat ending, isn't it?
Yeah. What's your second question? This is not where we're going to end.
That was it. Have you seen a ghost?
Oh,
Is there an afterlife?
Oh, right.
They're linked.
Oh, right. Linking material. So then you did. So you did Philomena Con. Then you started. Well, then you got all Pat and Cabbage, and you got all.
Yeah, I did all my bits and bobs.
Yeah, little pieces.
Mount Pleasant.
Yeah.
Things like that. Little bit. Like a lot of sarcastic receptionists. Right. Which I was happy to do.
Yeah. And then, so what was the next big thing?
Well, Conk came along, and then that.
Because that's like, I mean, when I was working on Mandy, I was like, this is this confident woman directing, producing. It's like you seemed to me to be like powerful, impressive.
No,
and I
it's just like I need full control over everything. You must get that.
No, you see, that's my flaw, and that's one of my flaws.
I don't trust that other people can, do my hair. I have to do it myself.
So, Philomena Conk, and then was Motherland next? Was that also, which I'm also a big fan of? Although I know you've got, I don't know if we can. You said the Foods Test. Well, it was also written by Graham Linehan. It was originally written by who's now.
Yeah, he did the pilot.
With his wife, and that's all gone a bit shit now.
Yeah.
Maybe not talk about that, but we won't talk about. Graham.
Well, yeah.
But I really like.
I can never remember what I've done.
No, that's
Never.
No, it's good. It's good. I mean, you're the sort of. I like Motherland very much. Really,
it's very popular with others.
Yeah, which I'm not. No, but I like the glimpse into that alien. No, you're not. Yeah. You're the sort of sensible northern one, kind of.
The one who doesn't give a shit what people think about her. I think people are always fascinated with that sort of character, people that don't give a shit about anything. Because deep down they want to be that kind of person. So it thrills them to see other people not giving a shit. So they think, maybe I could be like that.
But it's great. I really like their relationship with like her ex-husband or whatever he was. It seemed very real, all that, really. Kind of.
Yeah.
ambiguous.
No, it's a good show.
Yeah, are they doing any more? Or is that it now? It's done 3
Yeah, we
seasons.
might do. It's just trying to get everyone together, isn't it? Everyone gets.
We've all got more.
Do-
So
do,
who's it? You, Anna Maxwell Martin.
Yeah, Lucy Punch.
Oh, yeah, she's doing well.
Paul Reddy, who's brilliant.
I love
They're all
him.
brilliant.
I think he's so great.
Did you see The Terror?
I never got to the end of it, I'm sad, but he was great in it, yeah.
I love that.
I think it's one of them.
I don't think they should have shown the monster. But apart from that...
terrible CGI.
Yes, it is. It should have just been left to the imagination.
Yeah.
But apart from that...
Yeah, I thought it was great.
That was great.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he's very good.
Yeah.
So Motherland, and then have you ever done a thing where you go and sign photos, like a Comic-Con thing?
No, God, no.
You don't fancy that?
No one's asked me.
Really?
No. Well,
Suppose
I haven't
you've
done
not-
a sort of Doctor Who
No,
kind
I
of
suppose
style
that's
thing.
yeah.
What do you get those kind of things?
I did one once, yeah.
What
Because
was
I've
that?
been in Doctor Who and I've been in Indiana Jones.
Of course.
Yeah. So I've got that. Both in, well, I was
Is
in
that weird doing those Comic-Con things? Do you get a lot of sort of really fervent people that
Yeah.
are a
Oh,
bit-
it's humiliating. Which I like that. I enjoyed the humiliation. I enjoyed because I thought people think I need to do this, which I don't. I'm only doing it for the experience. Well, and the money was pretty good, but I mean, I would only do it once for the experience. But I thought I like to wallow in the. I loved kind of. My idea was that people thought I needed to do it really. And so I really enjoyed it. But it was at the same time, it was humiliating. Yeah, it was profoundly humiliating. Yeah, it was in the sort of central mall of Milton Keynes. I don't know if you know Milton Keynes, but it's...
I've been once.
Yeah. Well, you need... Anyway, there's a central kind of atrium
It's a bit
area.
like LA, isn't it? No one walks.
No, I suppose they don't know. No, it wasn't LA.
No, not like LA, no.
Not really,
No.
no. Oh, I think. I mean, if you're happy to, I mean, have you done that thing of going to the States? Are you going to do that?
I'm not gonna. Not
Really?
gonna crack America. No.
You see, I tried to do that, and that was
I
genuinely.
heard you tried to crack America.
Genuinely
It sounded really
humiliating.
funny.
Yeah, it was, but it was also, a profoundly humiliating experience. I mean, deeply, did show the limits of my, very much showed me up for
Well,
really.
certain people, British stars shouldn't crack America. You don't want them to crack America.
No, I think
Like
that's
Peter
what.
Cook. You don't want Peter Cook
Yeah.
to crack America. If they understand it, it means it's all over.
Yeah, well, that's nice of you to say so. Really, that gives me a crumb of comfort to hang on to. Really, the experience of being fired on my 40th birthday.
Really? Was that your 40th birthday?
40th birthday? And the producer, Gary Schickelheim or whatever, came to my cabana, which was my dressing room. I had a little cottage on the lot of the studios. Said, feel this isn't working out, Lexi.
Oh, God. On your 40th birthday?
Literally on my 40th birthday. And so we went to a supermarket. I bought some beer, and it was when you could sushi from a supermarket. When the idea of buying sushi from a supermarket was like an amazing thing.
Mm.
So I had beer and supermarket sushi.
Christ.
And then came back to Britain with my tail between my legs.
What a sad story.
Yes, yeah. So if I was going to say
yeah.
to pick up, if I have complicated feelings about Charlie Brooker, I have also complicated feelings about Ricky Gervais.
Oh, yeah, lots of people have complicated feelings about both those people. Mm.
And I haven't seen Afterlife, so...
Yeah, well, that's fine. I'm never like, people, when friends do, I don't know if they do it with you, you're in something, they'll go, oh, I'm really sorry, I haven't seen such a programme.
Yeah.
I've been very busy. I don't care. Why should I? I don't, I don't need you to see these programmes, it doesn't bother me,
Fair enough. Well, I haven't, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll skip over that then.
Yeah. I don't know whether... I mean, I certainly would say what you said. I don't know whether I mean it, really, whether I'm not full of rage that people haven't seen everything I do.
Oh, really?
I think I'm all right about it.
I heard your radio show the other day. Thank God I said that.
What, right? Which one?
Your radio show, we were on the train.
Oh, right.
Strangers on a Train.
Yeah, it's all right.
I really enjoyed it.
Making a series, yeah. That's good, though. You just,
Put that in.
yeah, phew. Yeah. Yeah. Good. No, that's avoided a
Yeah.
potentially
Awkward.
difficult juncture. So, Motherland, Philomena Conky you've done specials, and then Mandy, which is also a terrific creation, I think. I mean, just
Thanks, yeah, it's a bit of
fabulous.
fun. It's more like a sort of cartoon, you know, that you
Yeah.
can just do anything with it and it's just silly. Doesn't mean anything. I think there's a lot of comedies now that are comedy dramas. And I just wanted to do something that was just out and out stupid, really.
And it's for, is it BBC Two?
Two, yeah.
Yeah, it's your production company. Is Ben the producer?
Executive producer.
He's the executive producer. Is it your production company?
Yeah, well, I co-pro with
Yeah.
BBC, yeah.
BBC Studios.
Yeah. Witchcraft Industries.
That's your production.
I wanted it to be called Witchcraft Pharmaceuticals, but
Yeah.
they wouldn't let me have...
Really?
You can't use the word pharmaceuticals, no.
You see, that's one of the things I spend my time thinking about is if I had a production company, what would
you
I call it?
It's
Yeah.
the best bit about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I suppose it is, if you got anybody who has to answer the phone and say Witchcraft Industries.
Hello, Witchcraft Industries.
Yeah. Has anybody no.
Me.
See, it used to be that you'd have to have an office as well.
Yeah.
Because I think if I call it,
Sale Cosmetics.
Yeah. Then I have to think about somebody answering the phone saying that. And then I'll lose confidence in the name, really.
Yeah, get bored with it. You think it's something funny, and then after a few years...
Well, that's also,
no.
yeah.
Why did I call it that?
Yeah. Remember Keith Allen years ago? A puckish figure, but he had a show on Channel 4 called I Love Keith Allen, and people in the production office would have to answer the phone saying, I love Keith Allen.
Yeah.
Which was about the best bit of it, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Witchcraft, that's a good, I like that title very much.
Witchcraft Pharmaceuticals would have been much better.
Yeah. So you've done the second, and an amazing roster of, I mean, in my episode alone, there was me and Sir Tom Courtney.
Roger Sloman as well.
Was Roger Sloman in that episode? No, he wasn't in my episode.
No, Roger Sloman was in, he was in your episode. Fatberg.
Was he?
Was he? No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. He was in the cruise episode.
Right.
He was the angry purser.
Right.
I mean, he's great at angry as well, isn't he?
Yeah, but I haven't seen him for a long time. But he was certainly, I mean, a Michael Lee alumnus, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Nuts in May and all that.
Yeah, I think he's great. It's really nice being able to think.
You've got a hell of a roster.
Who would I like to work with? You know, who are my favourites, and just get them all in.
Yeah.
Oh,
but they'll do it as well. It's a tribute. It's not as simple as that. There's a much more complex dynamic than that going in. It's
well,
not
you don't know who turned it down.
No, I suppose that's true. But
no, there wasn't anyone.
No, they see, yeah.
Shirley Bassey turned it down.
Yeah, but she's not in. You know, she's out of touch and she's old. She's irrelevant. But Sir Tom Conti and me and Roger Sloman.
Courtney, not Conti.
What?
You said Conti.
Oh, did I? Oh, God, I'm getting me Sir Tom's
mixed up. Yeah, you can't get your Courtney and your Conti.
No.
They get really furious about that. Especially Courtney.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was. I basically stayed around. I mean, I didn't need to be in that scene, really, did I?
You got to stare at Courtney for a while, didn't you?
Yeah, and watch him act, watch his process.
Yeah.
Which was brilliant.
Yeah.
Talk to him about cars.
Did you guess his car right?
Well, he had so many, really. I just let him talk, you know. But yeah, we had. I think it was quite a superficial chat. He was quite. I found him quite, because I know his first wife's in Linda's book group.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I have certain details on him, certain biographical details. But I thought he was quite self-contained. He didn't. He maintained a barrier, I thought, really, which was fine, but he's such a huge, I mean, I think we've established in this interview, I'm an pretty ungiving, kind of unpleasant, sort of, ungenerous kind of a person. But I mean, again, he is somebody who has done some of the greatest, stuff that
he's sort of considered the opposite, really, isn't he?
Is he? He's thought of as a nice man.
Yeah, nice guy.
Yeah. But I mean, he's done, Billy Lyle, Strelnikov in
in the thingy.
and Dr. Zhivago.
Yeah. It's funny, isn't it, when he was there that day, I was thinking, God, Billy Lyle.
Yeah. Fucking Billy Lyle. I mean, one of the greatest films of all time.
Yeah.
And now he's... But did you just ask him, or did you know him? I felt like there was a connection.
Yeah, my mate Maxine Peake.
Oh, right. We haven't got onto her.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah.
She knows him. From what? I'm not sure. And I think he said if she writes me a funny part, I'll do it. And I sent him a part and he didn't like it.
Oh, really?
So I then sent him that part.
Yeah.
And he was like, I like this. I'll do this. I was like, thank God for that.
Yeah, would it be? Yeah.
Yes, Maxine.
Yeah. Do we have time? You've got to be somewhere at 1.
Yes,
I don't want to be.
Yeah.
I don't want to hold.
Well, we can have a quick Maxine chat if you fancy.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
Yeah. Well, I've actually been in. I was in a Miss Marple with Maxine.
Were you?
Years ago. Yeah, they do it with mirrors, and I think we shared a car back to London, and I bragged about my short story writing career, which I think it was probably me saying a bit, I don't need to be in this Miss Marple. I'm an important author now.
Yeah.
I don't think that went particularly well.
Well, you would have thought that you and Maxine get on like a hair song.
Yeah, but it didn't happen at first. And then we did a comic strip film down in Devon. Yeah. And we got on, we had dinner together then. Right. And their dad was there as well.
Oh, right. I've never met her dad. I know he's a big Tory, isn't he?
Yeah. It was quite a compliment. He'd also, it was, it was also, he was taking blood thinners, I think, and he cut himself shaving. So there was a lot of blood.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
That day, me and Maxine and their dad, but I got on well with him, I think. And then when she got caught in all that hoo-ha, with the Keir Starmer nonsense, I texted her then. And then I said, she was doing something in London, and I said to her, oh, let's have a coffee. And she said, yeah, all right. And then I said, I'll come round to the house. And I think she was a bit like... just a little bit like, it was a bit early to be going around somebody's house for a coffee.
She thought you might be a bit creepy. And she was so relieved that when Linda was here, I could see her face kind of, she went, oh, he's married, thank God.
Yeah. And she got,
right.
yeah. She got on really well with Linda.
Yeah.
And they got,
how could you not?
It was like one of them magical things, just occasionally when it's like a magical thing where, like an evening takes off or an afternoon or whatever it was. And she stayed for, I don't know whether we ordered pizzas and stuff, I think maybe. And, she stayed for much longer than, but mostly talking to Linda.
She outstayed her welcome, yeah.
No, no, it was a really magical evening. I think it was partly based on that intense relief that she'd felt. That Linda was there, that I wasn't going, hello, Maxine.
Yeah. Do you want to pop your top off?
How'd you like the music of Astrid Gilberto? Yeah. I think she was so relieved that wasn't happening.
That's funny, isn't it?
Yeah. It carried us through the whole evening. So you met her like at youth theatre or something?
No, we couldn't get into youth theatre.
That's a condemnation of youth theatre, isn't it?
Yeah. We met in Bolton. We met at Manchester Met, the audition for Manchester Met Drama School.
Right. Which you both didn't get.
Which we both didn't get. Right. Several times we tried to get in there.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have either of us, which is a shame. But I couldn't believe it because obviously we had to audition in front of each other and she was brilliant. Yeah. You could see straight away that she's brilliant. And she came over to me in the canteen afterwards and I thought you were really good. And I said, well, I thought you were really good. And then we bumped into each other in Bolton.
Actually in Bolton?
Yeah. In
the city centre or in the department store?
On the steps of the Bolton Library. And then we just stuck to each other like glue because we sort of kept each other afloat while we were trying to get into drama school, trying to encourage each other to do anything, get anything. Couldn't get in anywhere. No youth theatres would have us.
That's terrible.
It's amazing. I couldn't believe that she couldn't get arrested.
Yeah. And I suppose in a way, I mean, it was Dinner Ladies that was her big breakthrough.
Yeah, she
wasn't
got
it?
into RADA.
Yeah, oh, she got into, of course, yeah. She was all right.
And then got Dinner Ladies, which I was furious about.
Yeah, it's complicated, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, happy for her, but furious at the same time. Just sad, I think.
It wasn't
because
you.
I felt like it should have been me.
Yeah. You would have done it.
Yeah. Oh God, in a heartbeat. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I, as soon as I heard about Dinner Ladies being written, I had this thought like Maxine's going to get in that.
Really?
She was still at RADA. I thought she'll get that. And I remember she rang me up the following year and said, Victoria Woods asked me to be in Dinner Ladies, and my heart went boom. Oh God, you've just stolen everything that I wanted.
But did you manage to hide that or?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, barely, I'm sure.
Should we end at that point?
Yeah, on that bombshell.
On that bombshell, Diane Morgan, thank you very much for doing my podcast. It is the longest podcast we have ever done.
Is it?
2 hours.
2 hours?
Yeah.
Unedited version.
Yeah, I could go on for hours. All right. You've been listening to the Alexi Sale podcast, produced and edited by Talal Karkuti. Music by Tarboosh Records. Thanks to Anthony Overton for the sound engineering, and to Audio Boom for hosting us. And don't forget, you can support the show by signing up to our Patreon, which is patreon.com/Alexi Sale podcast. All right, thank you. Bye. Yeah. All right.